We are live.
Yes, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. This is Karen here, your favorite virtual assistant. And we also have my
Yes.
co
I'm
Gail.
Gail, your customer experience business strategist, and we are happy to be here today. Who do we have with us today, Karen?
Yeah, today we have a phenomenal guest, Chaz Horn. Chaz is going to go over the two most important steps in the sales process. But before we start that, I want to introduce my guest. Chaz, tell people who you are and a little bit more about you.
Yeah, Gail, Karen, thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for
Really
accepting.
appreciate getting to know you over the last few months.
Hmm.
Yes,
So,
same here.
phenomenal guest. All right, hope I live up to expectations.
You're going to be
So,
awesome.
when I got into sales,
Hmm.
to give you a little bit of background, I was the absolute worst salesperson in the absolute entire world. I got my first B2B sales job when I was 24, and I was 119 out of 119 sales reps, dead last. And for like a couple months, I had zero zip nada sales, and it was 100% commission. Um, my boss, who soon became my mentor, Ken Upton, had me over to his house one evening, and after we ate, he pulled me into his den, and there was a fire in the fireplace. This is in Northern California. You know, Northern California gets pretty cold. And he had me in his den, and he was sitting me down, and he was talking to me as a teacher would to a student. And he said, Chaz, are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? I was clueless. I was like 24. I was clueless. I'm like, what? He goes, I know you're not getting any sales. Are you sick and tired of this? I'm like, yes. And he said, three words changed my life. He said this. He said, you can be. And I never thought I had much potential in my life. I really didn't. And so when someone says something to that, it would really stand out. So he said, you can be. Now he followed that by the top salesperson in the company. Remember, I was 119 out of 119. And he said, you can be the top salesperson in the company. But don't you hate those big butts? One T, by the way. So he said, but you got to follow the system. You've got to follow the process because it works. We spent a lot of blood, sweat, and tears developing our process, developing our system. And to everyone out here that's listening to this live or on the replay, let us know. If you're here, say, hey, like I see Lisa in here. Will, yes. Hey, great to have you guys. Join us. Let us know who you are and where you're from. Know this. If you don't have a system and a process, you are going to fail. Now, it needs to be a proven system and process. And a lot of people think they have a system, they think they have a process, but they don't. Ken and the team and the company that put this system together, they spent a lot of time on it. They found out what worked and what didn't work. So guess what? I started following the system. I started following the process. 45 days later, I wasn't the top salesperson in the company, but I was number 3. Yeah. And so from that point forward, I realized I had potential. And for all the companies that I worked with, like 11 different industries, 10 different companies, probably a little bit more than that, over the years, I was either near the top or the top in sales. And what I found happened, and this is really cool for people out there who may still have a job and don't have a business. Someone would come up to me, the boss, the owner would come up to me and say, could you help Karen with sales? Could you help Bill with sales? If you're at a place that you're working and you want to have a business, a lot of times those people that are asking you to do something, it may identify a strength that you can have that you can start a business with. Right. So I was always asked to help people in sales because I excelled in it. And I found my why. I didn't realize it back then, and we didn't have Simon Sinek saying, your why, start with why. I learned that what really brought me the most joy in life, professional joy, was helping people see their potential and helping them realize it. And so when I became a national sales manager, and I was helping people hire them, train them, put them into a process, help them see their potential, help them realize it, I'm like, man, I love this. But I didn't like working for anyone else. So I started my business. Back in 2015, I tried to start my business, but I had a guy that was going to help me, and he goes, well, that will be $10,000. I'm like, what? And because I had that employee mindset, I didn't think about investing in myself. Well, guess what? 12 months later, I met with that same guy, and it was more than 10,000. I gladly paid him. This is 2016. I started my business and started doing what I love. With my experience, is helping people see the potential in them, helping them realize it. And so this brings us to where we are today. So that's some of my background. And now my kids, they actually work for me part-time, which has been amazing. And so I have a business, and I help other B2B consultants see their potential and help them realize it by giving them the system. Just like Ken was telling me, you got to follow the system. You got to follow the process. If you don't, you're going to fail. And can I tell all of you something? Gail, Karen, everyone listening out there, Caitlin, Anne, Marie, Will, Lisa, you got to believe in what you're selling. If you're going to start a business, you got to believe in it. If you're working for someone else, I was top in sales, but I didn't really enjoy what I was doing. When I started my business and it became part of my passion, I didn't even know and understand it. Now I get to work with people. Make sure you believe. That's the most important thing in sales, is believing in what you do.
Yeah, that's good. That's good that you mentioned that, though, because a lot of people, I guess that's part of starting, right? You don't always believe in your abilities because like you just mentioned, you have that employee mindset. So that's good to know for anybody that is looking to start a business, to believe in themselves. Have confidence, in your abilities or whatever you're able to do. So that's definitely the point.
So, Chaz, I have a question for you. So, why, and I hope you don't think it's a strange question, but so many people, I guess, have that employee mindset and they go and they try to start their own business. But I think a lot of people really hate sales. They hate it. And that's not a strong word. But why do you think, why is being able to sell your product or service so important, especially if you're an entrepreneur? Because you can't sell it by telepathy, or there's some activity you have to do. But why do you think it's important? Because people
Well,
hate
this is the
sales.
reason. I've surveyed people over and over and over again about sales, and it's have you ever walked into a retail store and someone comes up to you and says, may I help you? Have you ever been there?
Yeah.
What do you say to that sales clerk?
Just looking.
Just looking.
Just looking.
And
Or
that
if
is a
I need
lie.
something. Oh, that's a lie? Chaz, I
You're
might just
lying to
be
them.
looking. I'm not lying.
But most of the time we go there to buy something, right?
So usually.
Here's to your point. We do not want to be sold, and so we have a negative connotation in our mind. Like if I would ask everyone out there right now, even Karen, Gail, close your eyes. I can see you. Everyone else out there, I can't see you, but maybe I can. You never know. So close your eyes. If I ask you, the first thing that pops into your mind when you hear the word salesperson, what is it?
Pushy.
Yes. Gail? Hey, everybody in the stream, comment. What do you see? What's in your mind?
Visualize it.
I think pushy, I guess.
Like, what do you think of sales?
Always there. Sometimes they're always lurking in the background. And I feel uncomfortable.
Lurking or stalking?
Yes, stalking. I guess. Yeah. Yeah, pushy is a good one, Karen, because Chaz, even if you don't go into a retail store, you might have, if you're buying a car and you don't make up your mind immediately, and they're calling or like an insurance agent,
Yeah. Will Sullivan, do you see his comment? Used car salesman.
Used cars.
Lynette, lying. That is exactly door to door. Caitlin, this is great comments, guys.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. We are conditioned, like a lot of times I get this comment. I don't know why I hear this, but it's like a short, white, fat, bald dude with a plaid suit and a big, fat, white tie. I don't know why I get that comment. So we're conditioned to think negatively, to go to your comment, Gail. We're conditioned to think negatively about sales. And so all of a sudden we have a business. Oh, crud. I need to sell now. I don't like selling.
Yeah.
So here's a key distinction. Okay. It's about serving, not selling. It's about onboarding, not closing. And you can't serve your prospects at the highest level. I'm going to give you guys a quiz. Are you ready? You didn't realize I was going to quiz it and turn the tables on you. Flip the script.
I hope I have the answer to this quiz.
Oh, I didn't ask it yet. Okay. So you can't serve the prospect at the highest level unless what? Everybody in the chat, if you want to comment, what do you think? You don't have a client yet, but you're meeting with a lead, okay? And they're interested in your solution, your services, your product. You can't serve them at the highest level. And this is going to answer your question, okay? Gail, you can't serve the prospect at the highest level unless what?
Unless I believe in what I'm selling.
Yeah,
I don't
I was about
know.
to say, unless I feel confident.
Yeah, those are all true. You can't serve them at the highest level unless they become your client.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So think about that. That's usually a paradigm shift for my clients. I just got some goosebumps on the back of my neck. Seriously, I was thinking about one of my clients. She's like, oh my gosh. And in order for them to become your client, remember, it's about serving, not selling. It's about onboarding, not closing. Because it's just words mean things. And so when you think about closing, we think about someone trying to, close them into something and manipulate them and coerce them into something. It's about onboarding. So think about, you can't serve them, the prospect, at the highest level unless they become your client. So remember back to Ken Upton, system, process. You got to bring them through within the system, and you have to bring them through the process. Now, the way you do it is key. The way you do it is key. And so if you go with the intention to serve, then you'll have a conversation where you can have open dialogue, and then you as the authority guides and directs the process, not authoritarian, because if you allow them to control the process, people don't want to be sold. That retail clerk, you walk up, you put your walls up, I'm just looking. Okay. Gail says she was just looking. Okay. I don't know. You ain't going to buy something, right? So
I was going to buy after I looked, Charles.
Okay. But the retail, but a lot of people think that, and it's like they think they're being pushy. So just think about this with the retail clerk. Okay. If the retail clerk walked up, used some emotional intelligence is all about understanding our emotions and other people's emotions so you can influence them, not manipulate them. It's very powerful when you understand this. So it's about going with the intention to serve. If the sales clerk walked up and said, welcome to whatever, Macy's. I'm sure you're here just looking. Don't you hate it when some pushy salespeople come up and try to sell you something? Yeah. I just want to let you know I'm not here to do that. Typically, I can save our customers 50% and save them an hour in shopping time, unless you want to shop longer. But I'll be right over here if you have any questions. Unless you're looking for something specifically, let me know. Do you see how that changes the whole dynamic of the conversation?
Yeah, that's true.
Because really people are there. Yeah, and that's what marketing does. The right marketing brings people to you, and then if they're to you, you got to know how to build that relationship, and you go with the intention to serve, and that's essential. But if you don't go with the intention to serve, you go with the intention to sell, people spot that. We've all, especially in the Western world, we've all been sold and we don't like it. So to Gail, a long answer to your question, just breaking it down on several different levels, people don't like to sell because they misunderstand what sales are because they have a bad experience with it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, you answered two questions in one, because my next question was going to be, and can you tie your answer into customer service? But you just did. It's just about flipping the script, really. And that helps not only the sales clerk, it also helps the potential customer who's going to buy. It makes things easier because retail people don't like to hear no, so I would be only looking and they feel, I guess, kind of rejected. Like, how do I approach this person? But your script is really much better than just lurking and stalking me.
Yeah, and it's not even a script as much as it is going with the intention to serve. In your building skill sets,
Mhm.
Because what you say is important, but how you say it is even more important. Everyone out here in the chat, if you have a partner, a significant other, I mean, it's what they say is important, but how they say it is so much more important.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I was like walking at the dog park a while back, and I saw this husband and wife talking, and the husband said something to the wife. I was like 10, 15 feet behind him, and what he said, I don't remember what he said, but how he said it, it's like, ooh, this isn't going to go over good. And then so she reacted, and then he said, but dear, I only said, and then she said, it wasn't what you said, it was how you said it. And that's important. That has to do with technique. And if you're going with the wrong intention, it's hard to have the right technique unless you're really good at manipulating people. And there's a lot of people like that out there. I just don't like to go with the idea to manipulate and coerce. I'd rather serve to help them. By the way, if you're serving someone at the highest level and you're meeting with a prospect, and if you aren't a good fit for them, then it's going to say, you know what, I can't help you, and I'll refer you to someone else. It takes all the sleaziness, salesiness, and stuff out of the equation. You're truly there to serve them.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think some people think they have to take in every client. So, you know, everybody's not necessarily for you as a person, as an individual. But
that's exactly right.
And I think it's good that you're able to tell them, hey, I don't think this is going to be a good collaboration, but I have someone I think would be perfect for you. And I think the person will generally be happy for it, you know, be appreciative
I think,
of that.
I think they'd appreciate your honesty as well and integrity.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you can't be all things to all people.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And
Let me ask
Lynette Taylor, I see she put timeshare. Have you guys ever been in a timeshare?
Yes.
Man, you talk about high pressure manipulation.
What?
High pressure is the word.
The first 2 days in the hotel.
No,
Yes.
right. They love to that.
No,
You come stay in
you
the
have to
hotel.
send this 90-minute presentation that lasts 6 hours.
Yes, that's true. Yes, that is
That's
true.
a picture that a lot of people have in their mind.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that. But let me ask you, when it comes to you, B2B business and B2C business, is the sales process different?
The sales process is the same.
Okay.
It's the same. It really is. You got to connect with people. It's about building relationships. It's about taking them through the process. It's a little bit different with some of it. Here we go. It's like I work with people who sell high ticket offers, you know, 4,000, 10,000, 30,000, you know, 50,000. So having a conversation with something like this, as opposed to selling something that's like a $50, $100 offer, is there's a different dynamic within the conversation. And so you don't want to spend time selling a 50, you know, having a conversation with someone selling a $50 or $100 offer. Not that you don't want to have a conversation with them, knowing that you have to be wise in how you use time. And so you have to have a marketing that develops them so there's an easy conversion from lead to client, if that makes sense to your question.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Yeah, because we need to maximize our time, really.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you need to be wise in you want to serve people and help people, but you're also there to make a living.
Yeah.
And so you can't serve someone at the highest level by having lots and lots of their time is valuable too.
Yeah, I think that's important too. Yeah.
So are you going to share with us, Chaz, what are the 2 most important steps in the sales process? What do you think there?
I was waiting for you to ask me the question. I was planning on it.
And then after you tell me what the 2 most important steps are, I'd like you to also share like 3 tips or so that you would share with someone who needed to get better at sales. And I mean sales across the board, whether it's that $50 ticket item or 4,000. And I want to get better fast.
Yeah, most definitely. As a matter of fact, for everyone out there too, as you can see my email right here. Email me if you want a sales and marketing analysis for business owners only. It's 20 minutes. You'll be glad you did. If you need help, send me an email. So to your question, it's essential that you believe in what you do. Okay. You believe in your product and service. And sometimes if we have a business owner listening to this right now, and thanks for putting that in there. So if you're a business owner right now, maybe you believe in what you do, but you don't have the right product, or you haven't developed your offer well. Really important to get with someone who can help you develop your offer, because a lot of people, they have their offer all over the place. And then, they're like, here's an hour of consultation here, here's 3 hours here, and that will just stress you out. So you need to develop an offer that's succinct, that speaks specifically to your target market's main need and want. Okay? Main need and want. So the most important thing is to go, we're talking within the sales process now, is the intention to serve. I mentioned this, alluded to it earlier. Go with the intention to serve. It will change what you say and how you say it. Remember talking about that husband to that wife?
Yeah.
He was not saying what he was trying to say in the right way. So when you have someone that you're talking to, you need to make sure that you're speaking to them with the right intention, and that will change what you say. That will change how you say it. When I started my business, I had a mentor that really instilled this into me. And so I put as a first step in my sales process, intention to serve. It was a head knowledge back in 2016. 1 month I had a low onboarding percentage, because onboarding instead of closing percentage. And I'm like, man, I teach people this. What is wrong? I was dealing with just imposter syndrome and whatnot. And so I knew enough to own my failure and ask myself the right questions. That's how you learn from failure. That's how failure becomes an event. And so I'm like, what is wrong? What am I doing wrong? Why am I down here at like a 25% onboarding percentage, closing percentage? And as I thought about it, I realized I was making it all about me. Yes, head knowledge. Here's the first step of my process, intention to serve. But I had my goal on my wall, making a certain amount of money each and every month. Okay. Now, here's the paradigm shift that I had after that low onboarding percentage month, low closing percentage month. I changed my monthly, quarterly, and yearly goals from how much I was going to make to the number of clients I was going to serve at the highest level. Remember I was talking about earlier, you can't serve a prospect at the highest level unless they become your client.
Right.
So you know what? The money is the same, but just my focus going to serve my clients as opposed to making a certain amount of money, it was like, whoa. Mm-hmm. It changed all my conversations. So I went from 25 that 1 month, this is back around 3-4 years ago, to 75% onboarding percentage the next month. And then now it stays pretty close to that. And that's just by shifting your intention. So everyone out here, go with the intention to serve. Go with the intention to serve, and you have to make sure you're taking them through the process. The problem happens was when we misunderstand what serving people is how to serve people. Because if you come into a conversation and you have the wrong connotation, the wrong perspective about serving people, you may have someone that comes into a conversation that's like, and you just give them like a tip. That tip isn't going to serve them. You need to bring them through the process to uncover the problem, understanding what is costing them, how it's preventing them from reaching a goal or objective, and most importantly, how it affects the decision makers personally. How it affects them personally. Never present an offer until you uncover that. A lot of people just meet with someone, here's my offer, or they email an offer. You should never ever email an offer. So the intention to serve is about serving them at the highest level. In order to serve them at the highest level, you need to take them through the process. Let me tell you a story from Kim, one of my clients. Are you guys ready for a story?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Kim had like a 3% closing percentage, onboarding percentage. She was great at delivering her offer. I mean, not great. She was terrible at delivering. She was great at delivering her service. Mm-hmm. She was a true authority. You need to be the authority, obviously, in what your product, your service, your solution. You also need to be the authority in taking them through the process. Okay. Most people aren't both. And so when I talked to Kim, She was working with corporations and they were just yanking her around left and right. She was emailing her proposals, which was wrong. She wasn't uncovering the problem, what it was costing them, how it prevented them from reaching a goal or objective. She didn't understand how the problem affected the decision maker or decision makers personally. When she had this aha moment about system and process, and she understood that she couldn't serve them at the highest level unless she became their client, this is the conversation she had. It was like a night and day difference, a shift within 30 days. She had a proposal to a corporation, and the corporation said, well, we need to think about it, okay? Now, dealing with that objection, that's a whole, live session for another day, okay? And so they got back to her and they redlined out all of her contract. We need this, we can't do this in 120 days, we need it in 180 days. And they just went on and on and on and on and on. And so she reached out to him and said, and this is within her mindset, she said, because she was sharing this in our group, a live video within my client group. She said, I was looking at them and I wasn't going to try to like angry or upset. I was truly bummed out because I wasn't going to be able to serve them. And so she used a pattern interrupt. That's to change people's thinking. Like when I talked about that retail clerk early on and, flipping the script and how she walked up to the customers that were just looking. So she reached out to him and said, I'm really, really sorry. I'm not going to be able to help you. I know what you need, and I put this contract together to make sure that you have these objectives, this, you have these problems, this and this. And in order to burst through these obstacles, this is what works. And so if I have someone that can help you, I can refer them your way. I'm just not going to be a good fit for you at this time. She got off the phone 20 minutes later. Guess what?
They called her?
They call back.
They sent her the contract the way that she sent it to them.
Wow.
So that's like, I'm serious. I got some like duck bumps. You know what a duck bump is?
Same as a goosebump, Chaz.
It's a bump. It's on top of goosebumps. Seriously,
but that's a really good story because sometimes we try to then renegotiate our own contract with ourselves. So yes, you give the contract to the client and they're telling you all these things they don't want, and then you try to change it when this is the key to their success. But you're so busy, I guess, looking. You don't. You want to serve them, but when you change your contract, no, you really can't serve them because you can't deliver what you should be delivering, if that even makes sense. We dilute our offer, and then it doesn't work out, and then everybody's frustrated. It's better to do what Kim did in the end.
Yeah.
Yes. You don't want to work with people that aren't a good fit for you.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, when I work with people, there's a step in my process, size them up, where it's like, you're not a good fit, you are a good fit. And so that's not even what we're talking about today, but it is. And that's one of the things that she did, but that pattern interrupt that got their attention. And she didn't go to try to manipulate them. She just went knowing that she couldn't serve them, but it got their attention. And 20 minutes later, she had to sign contract. Now she's working with people all the time. Not that she didn't make mistakes. We all mess up. I mess up every day, by the way. And I've been doing this for a long time. Okay. We all mess up, but it's just that you do things better and you just continue to get better. A fraction of a percentage each and every day, as long as you have a system and process that's proven, someone that can help you understand what to do. And when you make mistakes, you can identify it and then make changes, pivot, and continue moving forward. Yeah. So intention to serve is by absolutely, positively the most important step in the sales process. By the way, it's like I have here's sales process, right? This is how I lived most of my life, just in the sales process. You got to have a marketing, and marketing is all about building confidence in your prospect's mind about who you are and that your service, solution, product can solve their problem. That attracts them to you, and then your sales process is seamless. It converts lead into meeting and converts meeting into client. So if you don't have a market and you're just doing sales, it is difficult in 2022 and beyond. So you got to have a good marketing strategy that repels the wrong people. As I was telling you before we got on, I had that hater.
Yeah.
You know, that guy was not a good fit. He actually reached out to me. It repelled him. It repels the wrong people and attracts the right people. So that's essential. If you want to do good in sales, is have a marketing process that brings them to you and sets them up so you can bring them through a process to serve them. An intention to serve is the number one step. That's the foundation, the first step in our sales process.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that's important because I know before I didn't realize that sales and marketing are like two, they best friends kind of, right? And
they should be.
Right, but they're supposed to be. But I didn't realize till now how they actually symbiotic a relationship, that one relates to the other. So I think a lot of people have that. So they think it's two different things, but it's still together in one subject, if it makes sense. But I think that's important. I mean, for me, it was like, wow, I didn't even know that. I thought it was like, okay, I get the sales part. Sales are always equated to selling, right? And then now it's like, okay, now my mind is changing as far as what represents the sell. It's not selling, it's helping and bringing value to someone. So
yes, Karen, what you're saying right now, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, that's fine.
Okay, so it's people don't understand. I was talking to an agency owner, and I was having this conversation. She's like, wow, sales and marketing work together. I said, yeah, that's your problem. It should be like hand in glove. Okay, they fit together like this. Marketing builds confidence in your prospect's mind about who you are, your product can solve their problem. It makes you attractive, it makes you approachable, and sales converts lead into meeting and meeting into client. Most people, Karen, like you, they don't understand that, and that's part of the problem they have. I can't tell you how many people, it's like, here's a lead, and then it's like, how do I convert this into a meeting? And when I have a first meeting, what do I say? How do I say it? So it's not, I'm trying to push something on them. That is key. It needs to work together. That's why I have a LinkedIn marketing strategy that works with a sales process. Otherwise, just sales in and of itself is important. But if you don't have a way to attract people to you, then you'll have no one to sell.
Yeah,
no one to sell to.
Yeah. I saw you live when you were talking about Canyon. What is it? Canyon Doom?
The Canyon of Doom. This is the Canyon of Doom.
That's like,
you know what the Canyon of Doom is?
And a lot of people don't know. Like even for myself, like sometimes the leads happen, but then it's like that little bridge. You don't know how to make it over that little bridge. And I think a lot of people
so people who are listening or watching this, so the marketing. I'm not going to go all into this to explain, but marketing creates leads. You define a lead as someone in your target market with a decision maker. That's where a lot of the people stop. On Sales Navigator, they call that a lead. That ain't a lead, okay? Target market decision makers see you as an authority, have confidence in you. That's what marketing does. And told you about a problem they have that you can solve. That's what our clients, that's what I have. That's what a real lead is. But then when you have these leads, like these little red spots here, it's how do you convert them into a meeting? Then that's where sales takes place. Unless you have your marketing set up to do that, okay? Like with B2C, a lot of that happens within marketing. So a lot of leads go to die in the Canyon of Doom because people don't have the skill set, the understanding, strategy, and tactics to convert leads into meetings to go through the sales process. By the way, that boom, that's a client right there because they go through the sales process. So this is the bridge that Karen was alluding to go over the Canyon of Doom because you understand how to convert. That's what sales is about, conversion. Convert lead into meeting and then convert meeting into client.
I think that's I saw a few of your videos this morning and I was like, wow. And
Thanks
I think that's I mean, listen, guys, I'm going to schedule my own meeting because I want to know what's going on. I like to make sure, because I'm new in the process, I like to make sure that I'm moving forward, right? That I'm learning as I go. And I think for me, I was like, wow, a lot of people do have that problem, and especially me. I'm new and I'm still having that struggle to have them walk me over the bridge, walk over the bridge. But thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
sharing
you're
I
that.
think it's
welcome.
about
We all
relationships
struggle.
as
We all have
well.
Mhm.
challenges.
Yeah.
Yes, Gail. I
Yes, I think
agree.
your important point there is about the relationship. So before I even think of
Mhm.
selling you anything, I really need to have a
Build.
conversation because I might not even know where you are,
Yeah.
what you want.
Yeah.
So let me just have a conversation. But Chaz, the last question I have for you. So sales is important, marketing is important, but you see a lot of people on social media, marketing, marketing, marketing. And then their marketing efforts, whether it's on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, they're just there constantly all over the place, but they don't get clients still. So what would be that? That would be the sales issue. In other words, they're doing the marketing. We assume they're doing it the right way, but then they're not
Mhm.
converting into sales.
So this is so great. That's a great question, by the way.
Mhm.
Excellent question. Okay?
Sorry to put you on the spot, Jazz. I
No,
know
no,
that
no,
wasn't
fine.
one of our agreed
So
questions.
here is Prospect Avenue. So
Hmm.
we're talking about LinkedIn here, right? We're one of the channels we're on right now is LinkedIn. So Prospect Avenue on LinkedIn would be where prospects travel down, and that would be like one example would be your LinkedIn feed, right?
Mhm.
And as they're traveling down this feed, you have to understand that people's attention span is less than a goldfish. That's 9 seconds. Now, I don't know how they were able to scientifically judge how a goldfish's attention span is 9 seconds, but that's what it says statistically. Okay. So
Okay.
it's like, I don't know, what's a goldfish's version of squirrel? It's like, I don't know. But anyway, 9 seconds. And in the LinkedIn newsfeed, it's less than nine
Nine
seconds.
seconds it
So how
is.
do you get their attention? So this will be a step along the way. Like a live broadcast like we're doing right now, you have to have your copy with a hook. That's the first line that gets their attention. In foundational, this is such a good question, Gail. This is where a lot of people make their mistake with marketing. First of all, they don't understand marketing. And again, confidence in who you are and that your product, service, solution can solve their problem. If you don't understand your target market, and if you don't understand the problem, their main problem and need and want, if you don't understand it, you can't communicate to them specifically. And so you're going to be all over the place. It's going to be weak, and so you need to be highly focused so you're attracting the exact right people to you and repelling the wrong people. One of the first things for everyone out here, I'm going to make a challenge to everyone out here in the feed, is the most important thing without even worrying about strategy, without even worrying about tactics, is to be you. You being you will attract the exact right people to you and repel the wrong ones. Now, a lot of times we struggle with who we are. Okay, so you got to understand who you are. And the more you get content out, be it real. What a big mistake people do is they'll look at someone like who's a big major influencer, and they don't copy their strategy or tactics. They copy and emulate who they are. And that's a big mistake. Okay. I've done it and I still struggle with it today because I'm it's taken me 50 years to really understand my identity much better. Okay. So you got to be you. Then you build the skill set of using marketing, building hooks, reaching people based on who you are and based on their specific problems and needs and wants. So when people stop, remember 9 seconds for goldfish, less than humans in the LinkedIn. I mean, do you spend 9 seconds on a post or do you just scroll? Right? Unless you get their attention. So you got to stop with a pattern interrupt, and then you need to have the skill set to speak to their needs specifically. So to your question, Gail, everything you need to know about marketing, you can learn from a 12-year-old Girl Scout. Okay.
Yeah.
So this 12-year-old Girl Scout, she broke the record for selling Girl Scout cookies. People are like, Chaz, I'm dropping off here, dude. I got a business. I'm not selling Girl Scout cookies. That's B2C. I'm B2B. Hang with me, because what this Girl Scout did, who was 12 years old, if you if you follow her strategy and tactics, it will work for you too. And this goes to your specific question, Gail. She understood positioning, leverage, positioning, and conversion. I don't have it up there, but leverage, positioning. When you have leverage and positioning, it leads to conversion. Leverage and positioning is all about marketing. So what she did is she wasn't like most Girl Scouts who went door to door. You don't have leverage there. It's just you knocking on the door. People don't want to be sold. I don't know about you. If someone rings my doorbell now, I'm like, who is that?
Right.
Like, you're looking out the window and stuff, and like,
You're checking your camera.
Yeah, checking the camera. So the Ring camera, the doorbell.
Yes.
That's what a lot of businesses do is they go to like Sales Navigator. Nothing wrong with Sales Navigator, but you're just reaching out to people one-on-one. That's not marketing. That's just business sales development. Nothing wrong with that, but you don't have any leverage. So a lot of businesses would be like a Girl Scout who goes door to door. This Girl Scout wasn't like this. She didn't go in front of a Walmart because there's busy traffic, a lot of traffic there, And she went where she understood she could position herself where her ideal customer was there because she spoke to their wants, not so much needs. We're talking about Girl Scout cookies here, right? So she positioned herself outside of a cannabis dispensary. People came out. They weren't buying one box of cookies. They were buying several boxes of cookies. 117 boxes of Girl Scout cookies sold in just a little bit over an hour. That's funny because they have a hunger, right? Probably in most cases. But this is when you position yourself in such a way that you're speaking to your target audiences, you whatever their hunger, whatever their need, whatever their want is, you connect with them emotionally. So marketing is not just about giving like educational, 3 steps to blank. You got to connect with them emotionally. And you need to give them value. I hate to use the word value because it gets overused. You need to give them practical information that can solve the problem they have so they understand that you know their problem. Okay? Yeah. So that Girl Scout is what you emulate, not to emulate, but you use your strategy, use your process. On LinkedIn, the positioning is your profile. The leverage is your content. When you have content that gets people's attention, they'll go to your profile. And if your profile's in alignment with your content and speaks to their needs and wants, it's just like those people walking out of the cannabis dispensary looking at those Girl Scout cookies. Hey, I see this person as an authority and have confidence. She was meeting their specific need right then and there, and they were making a purchase. Now it's a low dollar purchase, so it happened quickly, but it still happened. So to your specific question, Gail, you got to know and understand their needs, their wants. You got to speak specifically to them. You being you will attract the right people to you and repel the wrong ones. In the chat, just say, I'm going to be me. Try it.
Yes.
Okay, seriously.
Is that everybody be, when they be speaking about authenticity and genuine and be yourself, that's the same thing.
And being willing to step out. Because even your Girl Scout story, she was willing to step out. I don't know if I would have been willing to stand in front of the cannabis place, but the end justifies the means, I suppose. So you have to be willing to think outside of the box. And I know that too is a cliche. Everybody says that, but you have to think differently. And if it's one thing COVID has taught us is that we cannot expect the same results if we think how we thought before COVID. Because it just changed.
You got to get outside your comfort zone.
It changed everything.
It does.
Yeah,
it does. And you need to know and understand that. And that's why we're in a virtual world now, and you need to speak to people virtually. Here we are. Okay, we're speaking to people virtually. People are listening virtually. And it's like 2020, we learned from that. And so if you can't connect with someone virtually, it's a different skill set than over the phone. It's a different skill set than face to face. Yeah. And like anyone out here, I told Karen, I told Gail that anyone that goes on this broadcast who wants a sales and marketing analysis, send me an email. It's right here.
We put it
Yeah,
in.
Okay.
it is right
Chaz
there.
Horn at
Chaz.
chazhorn.com. So
Yeah, and I'm agreeing with
it's
Sebastian.
for business owners only. But
We
did
see
that
a
answer
book
your
coming,
question,
Chaz.
Gail?
Yes, it did. It did. And you and I are
Yeah.
gonna have a longer conversation on that
Yeah.
next week, Chaz. But
Yes.
we had
We
some
are.
really good comments. People have been engaging.
I see
Yeah.
that.
You see, you have a book, and it's
I
already titled by
yes. They got a
Sebastian.
book.
He's saying how to market to goldfish for the
They got a
millennials.
book title for you already and everything, Chad.
I do have how to market to goldfish for
Yes,
millennials.
yes.
Sebastian, I love it. I am
Sebastian,
writing a
thank
book.
you.
I am writing a
Oh,
book.
you are?
Yes. And it's like it's going to be about my life, and I'm going to mix in some marketing and some sales. So it's not just a boring sales book. The first step in the sales process is intention. And with the intention, I'm going to make it fun and just lively. And I'm going to be me because I want to attract the right people. I want something to be different. If we're laughing and having fun here. People remember something if they have an emotion tied to it. If you don't have an emotion tied to it, you'll forget it. And so you need to make things different. You need to be you, and you just need to be, just continue to build your skill sets over and over. One of the steps or one of the chapters of my book is don't hire that salesperson yet. But we could do that for a different time.
Yeah, you definitely got to come back, Chaz, because you have a
need
lot
a
of
part
wealth
two.
of information.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and
look,
you helping somebody too, because somebody's starting a job tomorrow, first sales role.
Caitlin.
So,
Yes, congratulations,
Caitlin, congratulations! Look at that, she's in here getting information.
So Caitlin, can I give you some advice? So starting my first sales role tomorrow is hopefully they have sales training for you. If they, first of all, believe in the product, understand how the product, service, solution, whatever solves their problem, that's the most important thing. If they have sales training, dive into it and take advantage of it. Most companies don't provide sales training for their sales reps. And so if they don't have sales training, connect me with your boss. I'd be happy to talk with them. And I mean, worst case, just go to YouTube and start learning sales and whatnot. The most important thing with salespeople today is personal branding. That's how people sell on LinkedIn. You connect with people emotionally with who you are and you're positioned with leverage, and then you have inbound traffic. A lot of salespeople don't understand how a lot of the people, the Generation Z, some millennials are understanding it more and more. You got to understand it. So create a personal brand on LinkedIn. 80% of all B2B leads, I'm not sure what you're selling, Caitlin. 80% of all B2B leads are generated through LinkedIn. So it's the place to be.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, LinkedIn is great.
It is if you use it correctly.
Yeah.
Or you can waste a lot of time on there.
That's true.
Great.
Oh look, we see somebody. Wow, congratulations, Will. He mentions that his team generated $1 billion revenue, so he's curious to hear if they did it right.
Well, if you have $1 billion in sales,
so you doing something.
I mean,
right?
I kind of have like
something must be going right.
I kind of have like a tongue in cheek with that comment. We have $1 billion in sales. Do we do it right? I don't know. Did you have $2 billion? Did you have $2 billion in debt in the process? And no.
No,
okay.
So you did.
Yeah. But if you had $1 billion in sales,
conversation.
it's like way to rock. You know,
right?
Seriously.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
great.
Most definitely. Oh, well, here's something really, really important as we're just having kind of an open dialogue right now, is it's what I do. And if any good coach consultant will help you do, or if you're a good coach and a consultant, it's the information is out there. I mean, you can find out all these different things out there, but then piecing them together and making your own system and process. My client said it best. He said, Chaz, I can learn this over the next 18 months, 24 months. You just shortened the time frame to getting it within 60 days. That was from AJ. And AJ just started his business. He's an operational consultant. He eliminates waste, increases productivity. And so now he's doing lives like we're doing here. It's like he's positioned with leverage. And so people are coming to his lives. He's converting within the conversation to a meeting, and then that's converting into clients. So if you have a good consultant, a good coach, it can just decrease the process from where you are to having a predictable way to identify, attract, and onboard new clients.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
Perfect.
that's what you say. Anybody could sit up here and learn things, right, on their own, but we all know it's going to take you a long time. We all know it's time
Yep.
consuming. We all know it's more efficient to have somebody who already been there to cut some of the time down.
Big time.
You know, that's reality. At least.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
Chaz.
Chaz, any closing words for us?
Yes.
This
Sure,
has
I'll
been
ask the closing word.
phenomenal.
Yeah. You didn't ask me the second most important step in the sales process.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, by
because
the
you only
way,
gave us one.
reach out. Yeah. Karen just put or Gail just put my email. Send me an email. Put sales and marketing analysis. It'll be 20 minutes. If you're a business owner, you'll be glad you did. I use the acronym TABS, TTABS, and I can use this in closing. It's tactic, technique, attitude, behavior, and strategy. If you're not predictably identifying, attracting, and onboarding new clients, it's going to be one or more of these 5 things. So I use this acronym quickly to identify what's not working, why not, and then I can give you a path forward. So send that out to me. And just, I guess, the second closing is, well, I'm not even going to go there because I think this is a good place to stop. Just know this, be you, build your skill sets, whether it's with me or someone else, send me an email, and Gail for customer service, Karen, if you need a VA, definitely reach out to them. I've known them. We connected in the same group through Shanae Murray. Awesome person. Shanae is awesome. And I built a relationship, and we've learned from one another. And any way I can help you or they can help you, reach out to them or me.
Yes, thank you, Chaz. Listen, that's true. Linkpreneur have really been amazing to me. I made a lot of great connections with you guys and many other people that's there. Phenomenal entrepreneur. So I like entrepreneur. I mean, I like Linkpreneur. It really have helped me a lot.
Yeah.
For me.
Okay,
Sebastian,
Karen,
I'll give you the first signed copy. You just didn't want the signed copy.
When is your book coming out? You don't know yet? Or still in the process?
It's like right now I want to get someone to help me with it. And one of the things as an entrepreneur is the most important thing is focus. Like Shanae is the epitome of this. I have a tendency to all these different things. So as a business owner, if you want to be good, you got to be able to be decisive and act on the one thing. But you also need to be able to say no to the 967 things. Yeah. And so that's one of the main problems and struggles within business. And so wherever you are, you need to know the priority. If you don't have qualified leads, you need to make priority in having marketing that generates qualified leads. Okay. If you don't have a way to convert leads into sales, you need to be able to have a sales process that know how to do that and how to follow it. And business owners, let me just tell you this. As I said in one of the chapters in my book, don't hire that salesperson yet. A lot of consultants who are afraid to sell, like we were talking about at the beginning, they don't like the idea of selling. It's a big mistake if you don't create a process that's proven that you understand before hiring a salesperson. It will end badly. It will end badly. You got to know it. You need to understand it. It needs to be proven before you even consider hiring a salesperson. So many businesses spend tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. I know one company spent millions of dollars on salespeople with a negative ROI because they didn't have a proven sales process.
Yep. And I would add to that, it's not only the process, you need to have a way of transferring that process from your mind into that other person's mind. And that's where training comes in. It's so important. And then it needs to be reinforced. You can't just, it has to be a lot of hand holding in the beginning, especially until they are, self-sufficient. And people tend to dismiss that. But training is very, very important. And then the reinforcement. So you can't just teach them when they first come on. It's double checking, random testing. It's a lot.
Yes, role play within the sales process is important.
Yes. It's a lot of little things that people don't think about, and I'm glad you raised that, Chaz. Thanks for giving me a little plug. That's the customer service part. That's the training.
Yeah, reach out to Gail to help you with that. Most definitely. Your process. Know this. I was talking to Shanae the other day. She told me a story because I'm doing a live with AJ, who's an operation, because I'm his client too. He's going to do operation process. I'm going to do sales process probably in the next week or so. And as I was talking to Shanae about how to set up this master class, she's so good at just getting to simplicity. It's like, what is a process? Because a lot of people don't understand that.
Right.
You know, you have a process when here's the story she told me. This guy wanted to create a franchise, so he was documenting everything within his business so he could have a franchise that people can follow. And so as he did this, he got extremely sick and he was in the hospital for like 6 months. So he was in the hospital for 6 months. His sister, who was not working in the business whatsoever, she just followed his processes and was able to keep the business afloat and keep it running. That's when you know you have a process. When someone from the outside can follow something step by step, they know what to do, what not to do, and how to correct it if it's not going the way you want it to.
And what else do we call that, Chaz? What else do we call that? We call that kind of like succession planning. You have a manager, everything is in his head or her head, and they don't want to share it. And then they have to go into the hospital for 6 months. And what happens?
Tribal knowledge.
Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Yeah, you need to think of these things. If something happens to me, what happens to my business?
Well, you know what? That is a good point. Because you know what? Even as a VA, I come across clients that don't necessarily, they don't believe in training. They feel like you should come built in with something, right? Yeah, we're building with the skill. I know my skill. I know how I'm used to doing things. But you like things a certain way, right? So you have to show me how you do that.
Correct.
But
you know what? What I do now is I didn't used to do this. Is every time I do something, I should say every time because there's times I don't. But my intention is every time I do something new, I do a screen share of what I'm doing so I can hand it off to my VA. And then she has more of a detailed mindset and so in perspective, so she can take that and tweak it, but then she'll document. And so even if she's gone, I can hand that off to someone else. So there's standard operating procedures.
That's good. That's good that you
really
do that.
Good. A lot of people just don't want to take the time to do it, though.
Yeah.
They see it as tedious, but it's so useful, and you only have to do it.
It will save you so much time in the long run. Yeah, big time.
Yeah, that's true. Oh man, this is a great conversation, and we're supposed to be like, bye guys, and we're still talking. Bye guys.
Well, Karen, I'm gonna leave you to close out. You can say the bye
guys. Yeah, this conversation was I enjoyed it a lot. I learned a lot. I hope you guys got value from this conversation. Chaz is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to this. He will be back with a different topic. But
he doesn't know that yet. He just found out.
That's all I know. I can't give you anything else. I'll be happy to come back.
Yeah.
Right. But thank you for watching, guys, and I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Any last words, anyone, before I close out?
Thank you, Chaz. It was a very great conversation. Thank you very much. We'll be back next week as normal, guys. Karen, do you know our topic for next week?
This week is what? The 10th?
I can't remember. I can't remember. Let's see if I have, but just stay tuned, guys. Just stay tuned.
Yes.
We'll be back next week with another topic at the same time. And we'll look forward to having everybody with us as normal.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Okay, enjoy your Sunday.